We had a rough day starting out. We went through Altamont Pass. Chris lost his saddlebag. It fell off, and we didn't notice it till some other driver came by and just gesticulated madly.
A carload of people hanging out the window. It was pretty obvious something was wrong.
So we got off at the next exit and doubled back 2 exits and got back on. And right away, you found your
Camera in the middle of the road. Notice it's in one piece. Absolutely amazing. It still works. I don't know. Dodged a big bullet there. Found the remnants of my rain suit spread out over a couple of miles. Lost a pair of flip-flops, and the saddlebag was totaled. But all things considered, if that's the worst thing that happens to us, it's clear sailing from here on out.
So we take this as a good omen. We got all the worst disasters out of the way.
All the bad juju.
The very beginning, and we had a beautiful ride up here today. It was a little smoky in Yosemite because there was a fire nearby, but beautiful ride. We got here in Mammoth Mountain about 4. Had a nice ride up to Twin Lakes and Mary Lakes, and saw the scenes there. And we're ready to go bright and early tomorrow to Las Vegas.
Ready to get the heat on.
Gonna see my old friend Ron Dizon from Peace Corps, and Grand Canyon from there.
Good stuff. Action.
Okay. So here we are in the Grand Canyon. We arrived here today at about 2 o'clock. Came from Las Vegas. We left about 7:30 this morning. Had a nice ride through Hoover Dam.
Yeah, started off Hoover Dam. First time I'd seen it.
Yep.
Beautiful new construction. The new bridge is going up.
Mhm.
Beautiful span high above the river. Just an amazing feat of technology.
Then we headed down to Kingman and saw a little bit of Route 66, the old original Route 66. Took some pictures there and followed Route 66 itself for upwards of 100 miles, and then came from Seligman up here, and it was a nice high plateau grazing land, very pretty and a lot cooler than yesterday. And we can tell you about yesterday. Yesterday we came from Mammoth, and we left there really early at about 6 o'clock, and it was really cold, about 40 degrees. As soon as we got to Bishop, it warmed up, and we stopped and got some food. At Bishop, it was probably already 80. And then we went down to Lone Pine and went up through Westgard Pass to Route 95. Westgard Pass is a great road, really twisty, gnarly through canyons, and just really wild stuff. And then we got down to Vegas early.
Too early.
Too early.
Way too early.
So we were down there at about 12 o'clock, and I called Ron and said, well, we're here early. And he said, well, I'm with Diane's family, so we had to kill some time. So we went to the Strip, and that was pretty bad.
Yeah, bad call.
110 degrees
110 degrees, and we're wearing full black riding suits after we'd been on the road all day. Not a good combination.
So we decided to head back out to the suburbs again, and then after an hour in a McDonald's drinking sundaes, we headed up to Mount Charleston, and that was very nice. About 50 miles round trip, really high, 6,000 feet, and much cooler. It was way down to about 93 degrees there.
Yeah, it was actually comfortable.
So then we headed back down and went to Ron and Diane's about 6 o'clock, and had a nice visit with them, and here we are today in the Grand Canyon. Had a great hike, watching the sunset at the rim. Just an awesome sight. Chris took 1,000 photographs.
Yeah, probably 1,500, something like that. Gonna need more memory cards.
And so that's it. Tomorrow more hiking on the rim, and then the next day, Mesa Verde.
Photo safari tomorrow.
It's Thursday, July 9th. We're in Ouray, not Ouray, and we got here from Mesa Verde yesterday. We were in Mesa Verde, and the day before that in Grand Canyon. As you can see, the weather's beautiful. It's 3:45 in the Rockies. A little bit of cloud cover. That's Devil's Peak in between the trees. You can see them. We gotten into a groove on the trip. We got here pretty early, about 1:30, and checked in. Chris wanted to just relax around town, and I wanted to go for a hike, so I hiked up this Bear Creek Trail. It's got beautiful views of the mountains, and it's only about 3 or 4 miles in. I'm going to turn around and go back. And tomorrow we'll be riding through Durango and beyond. Be hitting the plains. So the fun West Coast stuff is over, and we're going to go into the plains and onto the East Coast. Thursday, we're only in the trip now about 7 days. Not even that. 5-6 days. We left on Saturday. Feels like we've been gone forever. It's been a wonderful trip. We're in Jasper, Arkansas, staying at the Gordon Motel. We just rode through Arkansas, through Hot Springs, the National Monument or the National Park, and up Route 7 through the Ouachita Mountains and the Ozark National Forest. Very scenic roads, very curvy and fun to ride on. It was very hot, got up to 103 degrees at one point today. Even when we got up high, which relatively speaking here is not much more than 2,000 feet, it was still in the mid-90s. This town here is a pretty interesting place, very typical of Arkansas. The motel is very basic. We had dinner at the Ozark Diner, and that was also very basic. I had grilled chicken and ordered the catfish, but they were out. So anyway, today was an easy day, 200 miles. Yesterday we did 500 miles from from Radon, New Mexico, all the way to the eastern end of Oklahoma. So we pretty much went through all of Oklahoma yesterday, about 500 miles. That was a long ride, but moved along pretty well because there was no construction. It was Saturday. Today was Sunday, there was no construction either. At any rate, we're here, and tomorrow we'll head for Memphis, and we're going to go see Sun Records and a few other attractions there. So here we are. We made it to the rally, Johnson City. Since the last time we did a recording, it's been several days now. Spent a couple days in the Grand Canyon, one night in the Mesa Verde. Went up through Colorado, Ouray and Silverton, Durango, and from there we went to the northeast corner of New Mexico and spent the night there. What was it, Radan or Rodan? Radan.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember.
Then the next day we hauled across Oklahoma, about 500 miles, and spent the night in eastern Oklahoma. We had 2 beautiful days of riding through Arkansas. Stayed in Hot Springs, and went up and stayed in this little town called Jasper.
The Ozarks.
In the Ozarks.
Cue the banjos.
Yep. And from there, we headed into Tennessee, went to Memphis, checked out Sun Studios and all the history and music scene there. And next day went through Tennessee and spent last night in Greenfield, Tennessee, and came here today after seeing Andrew Johnson's homestead and town of Greenfield where he came from.
Big history day.
Yep, 17th President of the United States. So here we are after this long journey, and all of a sudden it's only a few days to go for me. Chris is leaving on Saturday. So the journey's almost come to an end already.
So, of all the beautiful places we've been, these are the backgrounds you're getting. hotel rooms and campgrounds. All the beautiful stuff you're gonna have to look at the pictures to see.
That's right. So anyway, Chris and I have had a great trip. Got to know each other again after many years.
And we still like each other.
Yeah.
That's the amazing part. We haven't beaten the crap out of each other yet.
Yeah. Chris is still willing to follow me when I get lost.
He doesn't see me shaking my fist at him as we're going down the road.
Or when I forget he needs to get gas because his Harley only gets 200 miles in a tank.
Yeah, because it's such a touring bike. It's
Well,
been a
anyway,
blast.
What's your best memory of the trip? What did you enjoy the most?
You know, honestly, it's going to take a while to digest it all. I think the Grand Canyon was great. I think the Rockies, riding through the Rockies, was phenomenal. Yeah, there are just too many good parts to be able to say one was the best.
Yeah.
I think it's all just going to blend together into one great package of memories. And of course, I'll have to look back at the pictures and find the best ones. But just a great experience seeing so many different aspects of our country, meeting so many different really neat people all over the place. Diners in small towns and mom and pop businesses and little hotel rooms for $40 a night. Stuff that you just don't see when you're in mainstream America.
Which unfortunately we didn't see that much of.
No.
It's a sad thing to say, but most of the small towns in America are surrounded by all these chains and sprawl and the chain motels and the chain restaurants and the Walmarts and the Applebee's and McDonald's. They're all really dominate the landscape. It isn't until you get into this little central core of a town where you see something that's authentic. And if you blink, you'll go through it and you miss it. My favorite part was just getting a sense of the history of this country and how, especially the vibrancy of this country in the 50s. Going to Memphis, going to Sun Studios, and then visiting the museum where they had a lot of information on Stax Records and all that music that came up out of the Delta and got picked up by so many different people, or the whites and continued with the blacks, and just sort of turned into this creative energy in the 50s and the 60s. It was just fascinating to get a sense of all about the history of the country, and then to come into Eastern Tennessee and just stumble into the 17th president of the United States, who took over after Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Became the focus of the Reconstruction effort, and unfortunately ran into a lot of conflicts with various politicians, and was by and large considered a failure, but I think he's probably a pretty amazing guy.
Yeah. Very interesting story.
So just getting here on the East Coast, seeing the history, going through the Great Smoky Mountains, and getting a sense of past, all the explorers like Davy Crockett, who went through these gaps and passes and settled this land out here. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, all good stuff.
So anyway, we're gonna go hear some bluegrass music and go for a ride tomorrow, and then we'll see what we'll see.
Sounds good.
Hiking on the Appalachian trails is one of the few places where you can probably actually see something. These are called balds. They're grassy mountain tops. For some unknown reason, they've always been grass, but now they're having problems with trees and brush moving in, so they have some restoration projects going on. But at any rate, there's three balds: round bald, grassy bald or grassy ridge, and I forgot the name of the other one, but there's three of these bald mountain tops, and it's a great little trail. I'm in about an hour from the trailhead. The Appalachian Trail itself doesn't actually go here. This is a spur off the Appalachian Trail, but it does ultimately parallel this trail and go on. This is the
border between Tennessee and North Carolina. I left the rally this morning, got this hike in going to Asheville at the end of the day. It's a cool, I would guess under 60 degrees, maybe 55, nice breeze here, cloudy, so you can't see the mountains too well, but they're back there. But it's a really great day for hiking and riding after all the heat that we've been going through, over 100 degrees often. This is a real pleasure. Chris left yesterday morning from the rally and went back to Jacksonville in one day. I'm going to take my time, and because when I leave the mountains I'll end up in the oven, so I'll probably stay around here, and then tomorrow, Tuesday, go halfway down, and then Wednesday do the rest of it. But anyway, this is a beautiful view here. These mountains are gorgeous. Not as spectacular as the Rockies, but now it's my third mountain range of note, and the Appalachians have always been